He threw in some eggs. There's fucking huevos now.
Fuck, he's gonna do something with that. I know he is. He's gonna throw an egg at my head, and then I'm gonna be egghead. Fuck.
We in here today, boys. Welcome back, everybody, to the Scattered Roots podcast. Rudy, how you doing, man?
I am doing well. I
lit.
am a little under the weather, so I do apologize if my voice is a little wonky today. But otherwise,
bullshit.
I'm doing well. I'm excited to be here today. How are you, Kevin?
Well, now I'm worried.
You'll be all right, bro. I'm not contagious. Don't worry.
Better not be.
I got you. Don't worry.
I was in a great mood like 30 seconds ago. Now I'm not.
All right. Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Scattered Roots podcast. We are excited today to have another episode similar to one we did in season 1 when we kind of went over a genre of music. The first time we did it was reggaeton. And this time, we wanted to do something that was maybe a little bit outside of our comfort zone. At least for me, it was, which is cumbia.
I love cumbia.
Me too. So I think it's gonna go back to kind of the same relationship I've had just with like all like Spanish music in general.
That you don't have it?
All right, cool.
I'm kidding.
It's taken me a while to come around.
Hey, man.
I heard it. I enjoyed it.
Better late than never.
You know what I'm saying?
Welcome.
I've been learning a lot. Since we decided to do this, I've been in my research bag.
Ooh.
And I realized...
And that's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen.
You
It's
know,
teaching, spreading information.
We're here to learn.
Love, you know?
We're here to...
Which is my camera? Oh, that one. Hey.
We're here to learn. And I learned a lot and it was exciting. It's cool. And I think what was really interesting about when I started to like look into cumbia was I think one, how far like its origins are really interesting.
It's old.
And how different it is. I think it's one of the only genres within the Latin America, I guess popular genres, right? That from like Mexico down to like Argentina, there is a sound that is considered cumbia, but is very different. And that's kind of taken a life of its own. And that was really cool to just kind of see. Now, with that being said, I definitely didn't get a chance to like hop in and like listen to a track from like each country because, you know.
That's a lot of countries to listen to.
That's a lot to go through. But nonetheless, it was really cool.
You didn't give Belize any love? No?
Hey, Belize was actually like one of the ones. Belize, Peru. What was the other ones that were like?
Nicaragua.
Sorry, Nicaragua. If I have any
I'm sorry if there's
any
any Nicaraguan people. Wait, how do you Nicaraguenses?
Oh, I don't know.
Nicaraguenses. I think I'm right.
I think that's actually, I think you're good. But of course, the biggest ones when I was going through it was one, the OGs, those de Colombia.
The Colombians, man.
And
they get down.
The second one, hey, you know what they do, bro?
They get down in Colombia.
Like as far as like music and like the influence, I don't think I don't think it's a hot take saying that like Colombia is probably like the biggest influence in Latin America in regards to like the sound that it has.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Like salsa capital of the world is what did our friend tell us?
I don't know.
Is that that was your homie?
Did he? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
I don't know what he said.
Was it Medellin?
Medellin is a city, not Medellin. It's Medellin.
Okay, sorry.
But
pronunciation.
Sure, if that's what he said. I forget.
Yeah.
That was like 2 months ago. I don't remember.
I mean, but Salsa wasn't born there. Mm-hmm. But it's the capital.
Sure.
Vallenatas. I don't know if I'm describing it right.
Vallenatos.
Oh, my bad.
The music?
Yeah.
Vallenato.
Born in Colombia. And cumbias. Born in Colombia.
Isn't vallenato a subgenre of cumbia, or am I wrong?
It sounds like there's... Now, that's where... And when we backtrack and kind of go through like the description of the sounds, if you go back and listen to like Colombian cumbias, sometimes we just had one of our producers, Fabi, say like when I played a song, this kind of sounds like salsa. So you'll see that like there's just influence, but and that's why I thought it was really interesting when I was going through everything, how the sound, where it started and how it developed to different people and different places came about in different ways.
Yeah.
And so that's why you'll hear a little bit like, oh, this sounds a little bit more like salsa. This sounds like this.
And I mean,
sounds
it's
like,
like you said, it's just been around for a long time. Like I think, contrary to the reggaeton episode that we had, reggaeton, relatively speaking, I think is a younger.
It is.
It's a much newer. Colombia, sorry, cumbia has been around since I don't even know.
Yeah,
ages.
So we can jump off there. So whenever we're gonna provide a little bit of context as far as like the history and some.
And then this is in no way, shape, or form like comprehensive like history
Absolutely.
of Colombia.
Yeah. So
tons.
Let's provide a disclaimer before we get
shit it on for not mentioning every person under the sun.
Yeah. So I know less about cumbia than I did about reggaeton. So if you thought my reggaeton knowledge was terrible,
whoa,
heads up.
That doesn't bode well.
But I think I learned a lot, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
And that's my experience, right? And that's what the whole concept of this is, right? That there is
you went out of your way to research, and so did I. We both went out of our way to try to find as much material and stuff as we could. And
again, like I always want to provide that context, right? The goal of why we even started having these conversations was because there is a part of me that feels like I don't know my entire Latin side.
Imposter.
I'm not an imposter.
Oh, no.
How dare you? I'm not sus.
Damn, what a 2 months that was.
I know, bro. Yeah, I love that game. Me and my nephews we still don't keep getting on there. No cap.
Shout out Among Us.
But
no, I feel you. Like you're trying to get back in touch with some of those things that you might have lost. Me too.
So if someone's out there that's like, hey, of course, like I've heard the songs. I know these one or two artists or one or two songs, and like I like them a lot, but I don't know a lot about it, and I don't feel that in touch with it. Hey, this episode's for you, right? Because we're here to just kind of provide a little bit of information.
You're exactly right. Because I mean, cumbia is like, I enjoyed it like growing up, but I found myself when I was like thinking about this episode, I was like, I actually don't know too much about it. Like you recognize the beats and stuff, like because you heard them at like family functions or whatever, which you can talk about, but like I couldn't name you 2-3 cumbia acts, you know what I mean? Like I can only name you like one or like a song.
I think I just didn't even know like what all fit under the cumbia umbrella.
Yeah.
Right, like I just had like this sound and this song, and like I guess in my head.
This is not comprehensive, but this is just.
But we hope you enjoy the content that we have, and you learn a little bit of something today, and I think you will.
And if not, fuck you.
And if you are
don't leave.
The cumbia connoisseur, and you have criticism for us, hey. I welcome that as well.
Yeah.
I'm always here for feedback. But let's get started. So, do you want to start off, or do you want me to get it jumping with the
cumbia
background?
Cumbia's origins can trace back all the way to Colombia, as we said.
In what time? What did you find?
We
probably should have compared notes.
I said there was a blend of European, African, and indigenous cultures.
Hey, we read the same article.
And that's how the music came about.
Okay, so I'll provide a little bit of my own context there from what I saw. 17th century is the first semi birth of it. The word cumbia comes from
Africa.
Cumbe,
yeah.
You know from where in Africa?
No.
Guinea, Western Africa.
Okay.
And so no, you're exactly right. It was a blend of these, and you know what? When we go back and look at like the history of like anything cool,
the colonizers ruining everything. Ruining everything.
Hold on, I don't want to. There's always room to blame colonizers for everything, but I don't want to use this moment for that. I want to more highlight the anything cool, anything with rhythm, anything with style. Shout out to my Afro Americans, my Afro Latinos, my Africans, because it all came from them. No cap, and anything cool. Because I know you were exactly right. Right, the sound comes from these. During the slave trade, you had West Africans from Guinea, and then you have Spanish influence, and then you have the indigenous people of Colombia.
Yeah.
And
sorry.
No, that's kind of where it started.
Yeah. I saw a little bit about. I read a little bit about that as well. That the cumbe and stuff like that was kind of like a very. Tribal. I don't know if the tribal is the right word. Native.
Yeah.
Like it was African like mating dances and like had a lot of like meaning to it, like significance in their culture and stuff. And it was right. And
So and I definitely want to talk about that. So like I'll say this: from what I saw and from what I read, there's kind of like a 2-part thing to this, right? One is the dance, and one is the sound. And so the sound was kind of its own thing that was kind of like a blend of everything that you just discussed, because they started to use like native like instruments. Like I'm gonna mispronounce this because I've never said these instruments before. I don't even know how to pronounce regular instruments. The gaita flutes.
Gaita, yeah.
Okay. Gaita. How do you say that?
Gaita.
I like when you say it. Say it again.
No. Okay. I'm uncomfortable.
And then the oh man, this is terrible.
Which one was it?
Like guacharacas.
Oh, like guacharacas. Those are the
that's what the
yeah. And gaita flutes are like these.
Hey, those look so cool. I wish I could dance and play it at the same time, but I don't think my brain has that much function to be able to like move. And
can you like rub your stomach and pat your head at the same time?
Let's see.
Wait. Oh. Hey, you can play like guacharaca or whatever.
Hey, maybe. Hey, talent.
Yeah. But those instruments, though, I think were more like indigenous people, right? Like
exactly.
That was once it started mixing. So that's what I read is like, so the drum component came from Africa. The African influence was the drums, was the percussion. And then the gaita flutes was something that's like indigenous to the indigenous people of Colombia in that area. And those are like these like long little flutes with like a little reed made out of like beeswax and shit. And so are the guacharaca.
I hope it's not shit, but yeah.
Beeswax and whatnot.
Okay, there you
go. And then the guacharaca, like I said, is another indigenous, and so that's kind of the melting. And
then you have the Spanish influence of just the sound, right? Like the word itself, the language itself.
Okay. Yeah, because I was gonna say that's the other thing, right? Is that I think from what I read, it was primarily just instrumental. There was no like vocals
for a long time.
Like just the beats.
It was just the sound, yeah. And that's where like the dance was really big. Which it, like you mentioned before, it was a dance of courtship.
Yeah.
One of the things that I saw that was really interesting was that the reason the cumbia, like the basic step for it, is so simple was. Did you read the same thing?
Yes. It was according to the guy that's the director of the Latinos for the
Smithsonian. Yeah. Hey, shout out to dude. I wish I had your name up. I could probably find it here in a second. But the reason the dance is so simple, just kind of in its root, is because
Eduardo Diaz,
during the slave trade,
that was his name.
I mean, they were chained, like their ankles were chained together, so there wasn't a lot of room for movement.
Yeah.
And it's not as complex as something like salsa or merengue, right? Where there's a lot of like.
Yeah, don't get me started on that.
A lot of I'm not gonna do it again, but there's a lot of like.
Yeah, don't get me started on that.
A lot of I'm not gonna do it again, but. Yeah, and hey, salsa and merengue, bro, they got hands because hey, little Rudy be trying to dance and he'd be struggling.
No.
But
don't look at me. I don't.
But I thought that was really interesting, and it really gave me a lot of perspective on something that again I had never thought of.
Because it is a very basic like shuffle, like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's all it is, right?
But like, even something like that, like before, like even jumping into this episode,
never would have thought of it.
Never would have thought of this. Yeah. Right, like this is context that, like, again, you have to kind of go out of your way and learn, and it's important because we have to give credit to where these things came from, and like I said, like right, Afro Latinos have such a big influence in just kind of this style and culture that we have, and so shout out to them. But yeah, let's talk a little bit more about the dance. It originated as a dance of courtship, where young men and women dressed up mostly in white. While the women wore long, graceful, layered skirts, the men wore sombrero hats, and they had a red handkerchief, which like I automatically picture like this image in my head that I feel like I've seen before of like people like rocking, like waving a red handkerchief as like they're dancing cumbias. And I think it's the same kind of idea. Like the band kind of plays in the middle, and everyone kind of dances around them, and then one by one these couples go out into the center and they kind of do their own little thing. And then I don't know if it's like nature where like depending on how good you dance or not.
Yeah,
you just
maybe the flyest dancer gets to go. Is that what it is?
Maybe, I don't know.
Damn, I'd be single as a Pringle.
No, okay. Hey, bro, you can cut a rug, bro.
I mean, I got it.
You got some rhythm, bro. I didn't see you dance.
You're giving me too much credit, but
nah. Why don't you like to dance that much? Put you on the spot.
Because I don't like being put on the spot. So
okay.
Get out my face. Don't look at me.
I wish I was.
No, man. I don't like being out there like that. I don't know.
Hey, man, you should do it, bro. I'm gonna encourage the movement.
But if I'm in the mood, though, I'll get out there and I'll get my little cholo cumbia on.
We gotta get you.
That's my style.
Hey, bro. Yeah. Hey, you know what? That was. I went to go. We'll talk about it more later in our own experience. But yeah, hey, that whole.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll talk about it more.
I don't do that partner cumbia shit. Get that shit out of my face. All right, don't dance with me.
Oh my god. Okay. Back to the what I was talking about. And so red handkerchief or scarf, and they wave it in the air. And then they would wear it around their necks as well. And then, but nowadays there's now just a much more, it's less traditional, just vibrant colors is a part of like the dance. And there's a lot of like festivals in Colombia still kind of rooted in the origins of those basic dances and kind of what they did. Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, that's more information than I had, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay,
You're
cool.
putting me on right now.
So that was, again, and we're going to like make a huge jump because I think for a long time, and this is probably the story for music just in general, from like the 17th century up until maybe, was this like the 20th century, is now when you can really start to kind of trace more so the music, because then you started having recordings. And so... Did you want to provide any?
Oh, well, real quick before you, I think, because you're going to jump on.
I'm going to make a huge jump here. Yeah.
No, so there's one thing that I found was super interesting was that, so like from what I saw a couple videos and I was, like I said, doing research, and there's a style of cumbia that has like the saxophone as like kind of like the primary, not primary, but like, you know, versus the accordion. Like those are two kind of different styles of cumbia, like originally, like, you know, very old styles. And the way the accordion one came about is actually a legend, urban legend in Latin America. And I don't know how factual this is, but apparently there was like a ship, right? There were ships that would send accordions from Europe to Argentina. Argentina was always, as a country, has always been very like rooted in its Europeanness and very close, right? That's part of the reason why some of them are a little problematic to this day. But so they would get our accordions from Europe to play tango music, right? Like the Europeans would send ships with accordions over. Well, apparently one of these ships shipwrecked, like it crashed or whatever, like as it was approaching its destination, right? And by some stroke of fortune, the accordion supposedly washed up on the shore of Colombia.
Interesting.
And the people in Colombia, like, oh shit, there's boxes, crates, like, you know, they're like, got the accordions, they just started messing with them. And then naturally that became the...
Dang, that's super cool. I didn't come across this at all.
Yeah, to that version of cumbia, which I don't know. I think vallenato, like the word I was saying, I think that's what that refers to. I think that's cumbia with accordion. I think. Could be wrong. But regardless, that story was interesting. And there's like apparently like a whole documentary on this. I forgot the name. I didn't write it down. But yeah, it's like a whole documentary that has to do with this like thing where the accordion's washed up on the shore, and then these people just took it and ran with it.
Yeah, and it's changed, like through, because you mentioned it right now, right? There's like two sounds that are kind of like its root, but then it's like I mentioned at the beginning, when you go from Mexico to Argentina, I think cumbia is a sound that can be heard in each country in its own influence. And so when you have different, just like, because when I was listening to like some of the original Colombian cumbia songs, I was like, this is not what I was like thinking. I heard a few of these songs and like I can definitely recognize them, but the sound isn't what I automatically default to. They sound a little bit more tropical. They sound a little bit more like they have like a like salsa like influence to them. And it all depends on the instruments and the people and how they kind of adapt. Even just like the speed, right? Some of them are a little bit just slower. Some of them are a little bit faster. And I think it's just such a super interesting, if someone could like kind of go through and just like lay out the entire map of like the different sounds and instruments. I'm sure that exists out there. We need to find it. I just think it'd be super cool to look at. But yeah, anything else you want to add before I make this jump to the 19th or 20th century?
Depends on what year you're jumping to.
I was gonna go straight to the first. So Colombian.
Well, before you leave Colombia, are you leaving Colombia?
I am probably leaving Colombia.
All right. So the other like major shift in there that I think is important to highlight is, so cumbia, as we described it, you know, indigenous instruments like the gaita flute. There's a couple drums. Well, like I think in the 1950s or something like that. There was a person called Lucho Bermudez, who's like an icon in Colombia, like absolute icon. And he's the one that kind of brought Colombia into a more orchestral, is that the word? orchestra, right? Like, so he turned cumbia from this kind of like small, maybe like ensemble of like, I don't know, 4 or 5 people, like you said,
like a little band, yeah,
a little band, to now a full blown big band orchestra where you have, I don't know, fucking clarinets or whatever the fuck, whatever else, right? Like you have a whole bunch of, just a big band, right?
Yeah.
So he's the one that's accredited with that movement, that kind of evolution, natural, like that step in cumbia's evolution,
kind of
right?
like making it something not just that's like a small like group of people making a sound, but like an actual like
so like
symphony of sound that you can kind of
exactly, not to skip ahead, but just so people kind of understand what I'm talking about. I'm talking like, if you know bandas like La Sonora Dinamita, and they're huge bands of like
huge.
They're cool.
Yeah. Do you want to give any shout outs to like some of like the like when we go back right to some of those, like La Sonora Dinamita is huge.
Well, I don't want to skip the timeline here if you were going in time. I only wanted to mention that because that was kind of like in the 50s and shit, and you were talking about leaving Colombia, so that's the only reason I brought it up. We can...
Well, like, I mean, I think those are around the same time, right? Because that's some of the same general timeline that I have here. Because the other thing that I was going to mention was, like, I think while each country kind of has its own sound, I think the 2 biggest players are going to be Colombia and Mexico. And that's because Mexico was where there was starting to be recordings of cumbia. And that's where now you have such an evolution of like the different sounds that like Mexicans kind of took and made their own. And then that leads us into like the 21st century where like we have the music that we grew up listening to. Which the song that we played at the beginning of the episode, La Cumbia Sin la Guerra, was the first, at least that they could find, song recorded outside of Colombia that was considered a cumbia song, which I thought was really cool. It was by a guy named Luis Carlos Mayer
Castandet.
Oh, hey, shout out to you. I was definitely mispronouncing all that.
Yeah. That's, I saw, like I said, we've read the same article here. So he's the one that moved to Mexico.
Yep.
With his songs, and he worked with, what is it?
Rafael de Paz.
Yep. And
yes, sir.
They're the ones that got it cooking up in Mexico originally.
And even when I heard that song, right, it you can hear that it's different from like the cumbia that like we grew up listening to. It still sounds like Colombian cumbia music to me, but it's still familiar to me, and I really enjoyed it. And there's so many like bands and musics that I was like, man, like I didn't even recognize that this was cumbia. Like that's kind of like what I was thinking the entire time I was listening to this. Like, oh, I didn't know this was considered like XYZ. But yeah, do you have anything else you want to add from like right around when that started happening?
Yeah, so then, we already kind of talked about it. Like Sonora Dinamita was a Colombian group that was created in 1961, the early 60s, I believe. And they're huge, right? They were huge. They're the ones who really kind of took cumbia from Colombia. I mean, yeah, there was already the kind of groundwork there in Mexico and with Luis Carlos that you talked about, but the Sonora Dinamita is really the people who blew it all the way up, right? I think they took it to Mexico, and then from there, like
they
Europe
did,
and beyond.
Because I actually like asked my my mom. Right. I wanted to provide a little bit of context and see like I wonder what her like relationship was.
I had some conversation with my dad,
and yeah, so then she was like, "Oh, no sé, no me acuerdo." And then immediately I was like, I played one song, and she was like, "Oh, you know, Sonora Dinamita." There was another one, La Sonora Santanara. And then she was like, Fito Olivares. Like she just started going off and off and off. Yeah. And that's the kind of like sound that like they kind of grew up listening to before it started changing because what was Sonora Dinamita? When were they big? Was that like the 80s?
No, so they were founded again in the 60s, but they broke up like in 2-3 years. They broke up really quickly. A lot of their original band members were like already successful artists, so they went on to do their own thing. And some of their original recordings made it to Mexico and were kind of gaining traction and popularity. So then there was like this kind of decision by the original founder, who his name is Lucho Argain or Argain. I don't know how do you say his name, but so he restarted the band in like the mid 70s. So that's when in the mid 70s to 80s, yeah, and then onward. Yes, so you're right. So they started back up in the 70s, and then
because that's when my mom was probably
that's
around.
When like Mi Cucu came out.
Yeah.
Let's go Mi Cucu.
Cuckoo.
Oh, te metes conmigo. Cuckoo.
Cuckoo.
Yeah, great song.
Let me not like sing anymore on this podcast because I keep getting roasted every time I do because I don't know any of the words to anything.
Oh, well, foreshadowing.
I feel like that's foreshadowing, like very heavily. But yeah, no, I was really excited. And I think when I was asking my mom about everything, I just really enjoyed because she like, and that's the beauty of cumbia, is it's a sound that it's meant to make you move. Mm-hmm. Because as soon as like we started just playing one or two songs, she like got up and she was like started dancing, and she started dancing with my little sister. And it made me realize that like cumbia isn't a sound that you just like play leisurely. And I asked like my
you can't just put that in the background.
No, yeah, you gotta get up and kind of rug. Yeah, exactly.
Or clean the house, one or the other.
Hey, hey, facts. And I had I was having a conversation with my Colombian friends. Shout out Gianna, shout out Heather, for providing some context, because I wanted to gain some, I guess, insight on like whether their realities with the genre was a little bit different than mine. And that's one of the first things like they said. They were like, yeah, well, I mean, cumbia is like a sound that like you dance to. Like you can't play this usually. Like this is like party music. This is like function music. And I was like, no, you're exactly right. Because like when I think about it, like that's the only thing that you do. Like you play it at quinceañeras. For me, right, quinceañeras, family functions. Like that's the music
you cannot put cumbia on if you're about to get like a night of romance on.
Hey,
you're not setting the mood, or you're setting some mood.
Maybe,
I guess,
I don't know. But yeah, and so they put me on to like a bunch of like different sounds. Now they definitely started off kind of saying like, oh well, like you know, like the sounds of Colombia are like salsa and vallenatos. But I wanted them to like kind of focus in on cumbias, and they gave me some pretty good stuff. Like there was what was the name? Oh, I fucked with this one obviously because of the name. His name is Rodolfo y su típica, tabaco y ron. Hey, go check it out. That hoe is a banger. I wish I could play it, but the YouTube will cut it.
Yeah, it's YouTube's. If you want to play a little snippet, you want to
play a little snippet?
Just play a little bit. Just play a little bit.
All right.
I've never heard that song before, ever.
Hey, it's a bop. Right. I'll cue it up here in a second. But let me see. They gave me that, and then they gave me another one. Like, there's just so many. El pescador de barro, el colegio. Hey, same or. Oh man, let me not mispronounce myself. And then they also gave me some more like modern day vibes. They said Carlos Vives, which have you?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of him personally.
It definitely sounded.
He's definitely like.
Yeah, so like it was definitely like.
Vamos de mi bicicleta, whatever that song is. That's the only Carlos Vives song I know.
La Cumbia de Todos is the one that I was listening to on the way over here. And it was cool, but it definitely was, I guess, different. And it wasn't like, oh, like this is. It didn't grab me by like
the
neck.
For sure a legend though, yeah.
Yeah, no, he was huge. They were like going off. They were like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah,
like
Carlos Vives, yeah, he's a icon for sure.
It was in every artist that they sent me was someone that I hadn't heard of. It was music that I hadn't listened to.
Dude, there's like a million people out here doing cumbia. It's like
it's huge. Yeah, no,
it spans all of Latin America. I'm sure there's.
I really do want to, even after this episode's over. I really do want to go.
We're gonna have a party.
Hey, we should. Hey, Scattered Roots Cumbia party.
Hey,
coming at you soon. But I wanted to like still go back and listen to more of like music, like I said, cumbia from like these places that like I didn't get a chance to listen to before the episode because I'm sure it sounds super interesting. But with that being said, I don't know if you had anything else to
I'm all Colombian out. I don't have any more facts on Colombia.
Yeah, me neither.
After Sonora came to Mexico, now all I know is Mexican cumbia.
Yeah, no, me too. And I think now that's kind of like where I
can.
That's
not to discount any other place. I just don't.
Yeah, and I mean like there's just so much that it's hard. But I guess before we move on, let me play a little snippet from the song that the homie sent me.
Drop some fire for your head tops. Okay, nice and smooth, nice and easy. Just okay. Yeah, I've definitely never heard that.
Hey, y'all go check it out. It was a banger, but my car was jumping.
I've never heard that.
But yeah, no. So now there's transitioned into I think a little bit more of like what we can really speak to, right? Because that was like I said, like a little just quick snippet of what we saw and what we read. And then shout out to G and Heather for giving me a little bit of insight. I wish I would have had a chance to really dive into it a little bit more, but But yeah, no. When I think of like cumbias, and again, these songs that I had to kind of recall definitely came from me listening to them like more recently, right? Because I didn't really get into Spanish music until my late teens, early 20s. Was like Los Angeles Azules. Like is like a band that like.
Where are they from?
I don't know. Where are they from? Los Angeles?
Iztapalapa, bro.
I didn't know that.
I told you that they say it like in every song.
Damn, my bad. I'm
damn
sorry.
it.
I don't listen. I just vibe.
Iztapalapa. Yeah.
But yeah. So like that's like it again. And I feel like I'm making the same point again. I had no idea like that was really like a cumbia sound, but like it makes sense like that.
Yeah, it's cumbia romántica.
Yeah, it's that kind of rhythm, that sound. And that's one of the artists that I really want to go see live in person because I feel like
I got tickets.
When are they coming?
September.
Swear to God.
Yeah.
Damn.
Their concert's been pushed back like several times due to COVID.
Dang.
They're supposed to come like February or March.
My mom asked me if I could get her tickets. I need to get on that.
Yeah.
Dang, I was gonna buy her those Bookies tickets, but
another icon.
Yeah,
it's a great time.
I think I'd rather go to Los Angeles Azules.
Yeah, me too. That's gonna be a whole.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna look into it. Mom, don't listen to this episode. But yeah, so like that was kind of like my first like big band that I saw that I was like, oh yeah, this is what I know. What about you?
And like, what do you like from growing up? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was later than that. Even I don't think I knew Angeles Azules until later on. I'm gonna jump the gun here in a little bit, but Cumbia Kings was like my foray into cumbia music.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that starts.
They were the ones when I was that age, like active as fuck, right? Like,
yeah. Hey, they were huge. Which starts back to like a little bit of like Selena, right? Like the like Baila Esta Cumbia. But it definitely, and her sound isn't cumbia per se in general, but she has a few bops.
Yeah, but that being said, like I don't like Angeles Azules. I came to know later on, but I love their music as well.
Oh,
they're
for
huge.
sure.
Yeah. Another one this one I didn't know by name, probably until even semi recently, like maybe like 3-ish years ago or 4-ish years ago, was Celso Piña. His songs are played at like every quinceañera ever. He has some of the most iconic cumbia songs out there. Que en paz descanse, a legend. But I definitely did not know like his name or like the names of the songs, right? Like I could just identify the beat, right? Like it's that type of music to me. And every time I hear it, I get in my bag.
Hey, bangers. And yeah, no, if you look up cumbia, like you will find, you'll be like, oh, like this is a bop. This is a bop. And it would have been people that you never really heard of.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, let's talk about the Cumbia Kings more because that was my bag. Azuquita.
And Pee-wee?
Hey.
And when Pee-wee came in?
Bro. Pee-wee was small, right? He was like a small dude,
he was
right?
a child.
Hey, I used to mess with Pee-wee hard because he gave small dudes a chance. I was young. I was tiny, bro.
Was he not like a 9-year-old or something?
And everyone wanted to be like with Pee-wee as he grew up.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, oh, Pee-wee, I want him to be my boyfriend. And be like, hey, I'm small too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a scrawny kid. Hey, if being scrawny is in, hey, the boy really got a chance. So that's why he was an icon in my eyes.
He made it.
Right? Did the girls not love Pee-wee?
I don't know, man.
Hey.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
That's what I heard. And so then I was like, hey, if they like skinny dudes, hey, being skinny is in right now.
I thought his haircut was kind of whack.
Yeah.
He had that Edgar haircut before Edgar had it.
Before it was a thing?
Yeah. But hey, absolute goat, man. Why can't I think of the lyrics right now? Oh my God, I'm blanking. But yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Sabes a Chocolate. When he came and singing that one, that was such a good song, bro.
And I feel like that's the
his little rapping too. Because he was like a little rapper a little bit.
Oh, did he?
Oh yeah, he would be like.
Oh, in the songs, yeah. Just like the little
cut up, yeah,
in the middle of them. But and that's the sound that I can associate with. Although, like I've said before, like I didn't really go and dance at quinceañeras because I was always like kind of shy and I feel like I didn't fit in, like, and I was just kind of in the corner. Mm-hmm. But now, like, yeah, like that's my bread and butter. I'm out there, and I just remember I asked my barber actually today too. I was like, hey, well, like when you think of cumbias, like what do you think of? And he was like, oh, dude, like dancing in a circle and all my stupid ass cousins flying around like eagles. And I was like, oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, dude.
Hey, that's the move now, boy.
That's right. So see,
hey, I'm gonna be 75.
You skipped over it a little bit, and I mentioned it before here. But another big act that whenever I talked to my pops that he highlighted was Los Chicos del Barrio, who were like in the mid '90s, and they're the ones. El Baile del Gavilán is exactly that, bro. I'm pretty sure
The whole
yeah, bro, like that shit. Like
is that where that came from? Oh, I had no idea.
I don't know. Like that's where I attribute it to.
Yeah, no, for
that's
sure.
what
I mean,
my dad attributed it to.
Yeah, I mean, I
like that's just anecdotal information from my father. So it's not like.
I mean,
facts,
to me, like the first time I really saw like or heard anything like that was like with Cumbia King. So if it was before that, because again, there's huge gaps here.
Yeah,
for me.
so I want to say that like with each of these artists, right? They went and kind of evolved and took the genre further and carried it forward, right? Like La Sonora Dinamita brought it to Mexico, and then like the Celso Piñas, the Ángeles Azules tweaked it in there, right? Like Celso Piña kind of made it a little bit more. I don't want to urban, maybe. I don't know, like he has this estilo called cumbia sabanera.
And that's like the biggest, I think, sound that is maybe very well known throughout, top to bottom, from Mexico to Argentina.
Yeah,
is exactly what you're describing.
So then like when you go on to like Los Chicos del Barrio, who I think are mid '90s, again, misquote me, but then you start getting like hip hop kind of almost elements integrated into
you
the
start
music.
to like Americanize a little bit,
and
of
then
it.
You see that a lot with Cumbia Kings, right? Like,
yeah,
like I think even Selena, right? Because Selena was like you said,
I mean, they're from
was
Texas,
like Tejano or whatever. So like her versions of Cumbia was even more kind of Americanized, and now you have Cumbia Kings who like basically were rapping on songs.
Yeah, no, and at that point now the sound is heavily influenced by American culture, right? You start to have like all these different sounds, and I think there was another big player. Was in Monterrey where like there was a lot of like people like playing with like synthesizers, adding it in like to like the and I think Monterrey is a huge hub.
Then what was that? Cumbia sonidera, I think that's what that's called. Cumbia sonidera, and that's just refers to the element of having like artificial like synthesizer sounds.
Yeah. And I think Monterrey, it just in general for music has done that to a lot, like because they're also the ones that do tribal, right? Like they kind of like added that.
Yeah, they like their computers down there.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking dweebs. I'm just kidding.
Shout out to the dweebs of the world.
But yeah, no. So like onto Cumbia Kings, like that's for sure. Like I said earlier in the episode, who I attribute like what I think of when I think Cumbia music, because during my formative years, that was the bulk of Cumbia that I heard. Right.
Yeah.
That was like, and they were popping. They were out here, fucking killing it, bro.
You're talking about
Cumbia Kings.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's like literally, and that's where I started. Like when like we immediately said that, like that was the first thing that I could kind of think of. But yeah, man, no, it's I think the sound of my young adulthood, and I think a lot of people can relate to like being at a family function, being at a quinceañera, and as soon as the cumbia comes on, running to the dance floor, getting in a circle, and just having a really good time. And I think it will always kind of be that. I'm gonna be 75, barely being able to like walk. You know, I'm gonna have my cane on me. And I'm gonna be in there throwing
the Cumbia comes out.
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna throw my cane and I'm gonna start flying, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm in this.
I don't know why. Like, is there all their songs? Like the beats of their songs are escaping me. Like I cannot.
What came after kind of them about that?
Cumbia All Stars.
Oh.
I think they were like a little breakup when they broke up, kind of.
There was a lot of drama around that time. I remember who was mad at who. I don't remember any of this. Yeah,
the dude broke off.
Ladies, do y'all remember who was upset at who?
Cumbia All Stars.
Was it about Selena a little bit, right?
I don't know.
Some of the beef. I remember seeing like things on like Univision when there'd be like they would have one of them on and it'd be like, oh, you know, blah 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 blah.
I don't remember, man.
Back in the gap, but I think like even post. Let's move on from Cumbia Kings and Cumbia All Stars. Is there any like artists that like kind of might? Because I really don't. There's a huge gap there. Yeah, from when that and then now.
So in my head, I don't know if you might say this is cumbia or not, but tribal to me would be a subgenre of cumbia, kind of.
Okay.
In my opinion,
that
I don't
makes
know
sense.
If that's anybody else's opinion, but that's kind of what I would say is like tribal. The way I describe it is like cumbia with like house, techno, whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of like this blending of two things
together.
Yeah.
And so that would be kind of what I would say was the next step. And then after that, huge gap. Según yo, ¿verdad? Like I'm sure there's several artists out there still creating music. Ángeles Azules was still creating music.
Yeah.
But the next step would be remix.
Oh.
And that's what I think is like modern cumbia now.
I don't even like know
remix. You know remix.
What? I mean, I probably do, but like just
hold on. You talk for 2 seconds.
Okay. What do you want me to say? Because I don't know. But no, I mean, I just think there's a huge like space for it now where like I haven't, and maybe you're right. Like maybe it's out there and I just haven't listened to it. And maybe it's because I don't go to the family functions anymore. What's the song you want me to cue up? I'll play it right now.
We're about to get demonetized. So.
Oh, for sure.
You know that song.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And he's got several good, good songs out now, right now. So
does that falls into the same cumbia umbrella?
Yeah, I think he's 100%
cumbia.
For sure.
Super cool.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean,
but like I said, today, I think the people carrying on that Torture remix, and again, Angeles Azules are having like a renaissance, and they're like killing it out. They've have a lot of collaborations with other artists. And they're like pegando con todo right now. Like they have a song with Pepe Aguilar. They have songs with several other.
I never know who exactly is like in the band because like I feel like there's always somebody like different. They performed. I forgot at what show was not so long ago, and I was like I think they had like different people from like the time I saw them perform. But there was this one dude that dances and he dances with so much passion. If you ever watched him perform, hey, I love that dude. He was,
yeah, there's little background dancers and like everybody in the band. You know, they're all family, right? Like they're all like family. Like the band itself.
That's what I thought. But then like brothers. But then I saw that like there was like different people. So I was like, oh, maybe it's like one of those things where like they'll like change out a singer when like there's beef or something like that. I don't know.
But it's like a family business is my point.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I just got it's Electro Cumbia is what remix is called. Like that's,
Electro Cumbia.
And I think he says that in like his songs. Like,
that's what the thing is.
Este es el estilo de Electro Cumbia.
And it's remix. It's gonna be so interesting like seeing how that like transforms even more. Like as we move forward, like what's gonna be next, because we can even just do a quick recap of everything, right? Like we ended at Electro Cumbias, and if you were to like play that and then come all the way back down to like Colombian cumbias, you'd be like, how did this come to this? But if you follow the story step by step, like from like as it kind of traveled north and the different influences, it would make a lot of sense. But it just sounds so different, and I think that's the beauty of it. And I think cumbia will always be kind of like the backbone of Latin American music.
Yeah, and I love it. It's great, and it's so contagious, right? Like you're over here talking about it tracing through Mexico and Argentina, like all of Latin America, basically. But it's transcended even that, right? Like we just saw that video of that Japanese cumbia, and that shit fucking slaps, bro.
Is it Korean?
Where's Mount Fuji? I'm assuming it's wherever Mount Fuji is because the name of the song is Canción del Monte Fuji. Sorry,
Cumbia. And it's a cover, right?
Cumbia del Monte Fuji. Yeah.
It's a cover. Hey, please go check out
Google Cumbia del Monte Fuji.
And I remember like I ran into it some
of you might have seen it on Twitter, Facebook, whatever.
Yeah, that's the first place I saw it. And they are they're Japanese. And they was bopping.
Dude,
I was
that's
like,
such a good sign.
And it was so cool seeing someone that like looked
completely different.
Yeah, and like them vibing out to it, and it looked like it's so cool. I wonder if there's like similar like stories elsewhere of like people like making like a cover of cumbia, and I think you're exactly right. It's really a global genre. At this point. Yeah. So yeah, definitely go check them out. Do you know what the name of the band was? I guess you just know the name of the song.
Fuck. I don't know how to say it. It's like it starts with an M, but Midori Cumbia? What was it?
Miño?
Yeah, it's a Japanese word or something. Miñero Cumbia, I think.
Okay.
Oh, Miño Cumbiero. Sorry.
Miño Cumbiero. MINYO Cumbiero.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all go check it out. It's fire. And I added them to like my playlist, like whenever I found them on Twitter.
And then when they start singing, that's when it really. Cause right, at first it's just like, okay, it's just cumbia with some like Japanese kind of or Asian instruments. They added, I don't know the names of the instruments, so I'm not gonna try it. But they added Asian sounds. But then you hear the singer come in, and it's like, whoa!
And it's a vibe.
And it sounds amazing.
And it's such a vibe because it's in Japanese.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know what they're saying, but hey, I'm moving to like, hey, I'm gonna throw it in. I'm gonna put the link in the description. We've never done that before. But
y'all check us out on YouTube.
Look at us evolving.
We need more
if y'all could see our setup today, hey, we got like a light in this bitch. Hey, we full. Hey, shout out to
if Rudy's glowing, it's because of the light. Shout out.
I wasn't aware that the lighting would be so good today. So if you're watching the YouTube and I look not to perfection, we don't have a makeup team yet. We're working on it.
That's the next step.
You know what I'm saying? One step at a time. Hey, big shout out to the boy Johnny who's here joining us today. If y'all ever watch our YouTube, he's the one that is the one that's constantly roasting me. and throwing little snips in there. Hey, to be fair, it's easy because I am an idiot sometimes. But no, he's in the house today, so big shout out to him.
That man made the step up from editor to fucking full-on videographer, director of videography. I don't know what the fuck this
executive produced by Johnny. But yeah, no, so shout out to him. But I think, again, the goal of today's conversation was just to provide a little bit of context and background to cumbia that maybe some people didn't have. Its origins from Colombia, and it started off as very heavily influenced from our Afro-Latinos, and to what we know now, from all the way to
Remix. Y'all make sure y'all go check out all those groups. Y'all check out Sonora Dinamita, Rodolfo y Su Típica.
All of them. There's so many names.
Los Chicos del Barrio.
You can look up, like, if you have Apple Music, and I'm sure it's on Spotify as well, if you look up like Colombian Cumbia, there's like an Essentials playlist. I was just
talking about all of Cumbia, but yeah.
That you can look up. And then there's like just a Cumbia Essentials that has some of those songs from the Colombian playlist, and then just other ones that like we're more familiar with. Cumbia Kings included. Pasangas Azules. It's all there. So, hey, and it's a vibe. If you ever want to throw someone on a party, hey, let's go cut up again.
You gotta tell me twice. I'm in there. No, I'm not. I'm not in there.
But with that being said, is there anything else you want to add to that?
To the cumbia discussion? I think that pretty much. I mean, right. There's a million things we could talk about with that, but I think you framed it well, and just kind of just to think about, like you said, the evolution of cumbia, where it's come from. It is such an old genre of music, and that's why there's so many different styles of it. Right?
And I hope this just encourages people to like go out and like discover a sound that you probably really enjoy, and discover like a new aspect of it. Mm-hmm. Because again, like a lot of these songs that I've been listening to over the last week, I've really enjoyed them, and I'd never heard them before because they just came from different places.
And if y'all want to dive down a very interesting, dark hole, look up. What was it? Colombianos?
If you are Mexican and you want to be embarrassed,
shout out to Nuevo León.
I mean, maybe you're not embarrassed by this.
I'm embarrassed
because someone thought it was cool. There was a period of time where there was a subset called Colombianos that had
do yourself a favor and Google it.
Very interesting style. Mm-hmm. Both in
we'll have a picture
dress and right headwear
here. Or right there.
Do not edit that onto me, please. I would say if you thought if y'all lived in Dallas, I remember in high school, you remember the booty fade?
Oh, dude, that fade was so bad. I had it for like 2 months.
Did you have one?
I had it a month.
Hey, a booty fade with like the spike gel?
Oh my god, I had it for a month, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
That was all the wave.
Yeah, put a picture of that too here.
No, please.
You never had it, right?
Never.
I'm so ashamed. That's one of my biggest regrets in life.
Appearance has always been very important to the way that I present myself.
Fucking idiot. My cousins, they did me dirty.
So I would never let myself look like that.
God damn it.
You know what I'm saying? And girls liked it too. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, they loved that.
They loved it. Yeah. That was like the pre-Edgar haircut.
Little Jessicas and Juanitas out here, they loved that shit.
All the Angelicas.
Yeah, that was the OG Edgar for sure.
That was an OG Edgar haircut. And it had to be spiked gel in the back too.
Yeah, and it had like a curve to it, bro. That shit was weird, bro.
Hey, you know what? We went to middle school with two Edgars. Did we go to the same middle school?
No.
Okay, so I went to middle school with two Edgars, and they both had the booty fade. Both of them, bro. Now that I think about it, my God. I'm dead. Dude, that fade was but yeah, disgusting. Colombianos. We were talking about booty fades. These haircuts are worse.
Yeah.
Like they got like side bangs that like go all the way down to like almost their chin.
And what I thought was interesting,
and there's patches of hair missing in some of them.
The videos I saw was like it's like cholo mixed with like punk goth kind of, because they have hella piercings. The music is like chopped and screwed and almost like satanic sounding. Like that shit was weird because that it wasn't just fashion, right? It was like I think they have like their own little version of cumbia there. It was like chopped and screwed and really slowed and wherever cumbia goes, I hope it never comes back to this. But you know what? Who are these kids were going through? They were just living their lives, being themselves. Good for them. Stupid.
Express yourself, kids.
Yeah.
If it's like this, just prepare to be laughed at. But that's okay.
Share that little fun. When I discovered that during
we've been talking about way too long. Let's move on.
When I discovered that during research, I was like, whoa. So
yeah, okay. Shut up. All right, I think that about does it. Do you want to do? I think you have a segment that
I do. Cue up my music. That wasn't the music.
I know. I'm just trying to make sure there's nothing else playing in the background. Guys, I want to apologize because I know what's coming. I have an idea, I think, at least. Am I right?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another segment of Really, Rudy?
Fuck.
Really? Lyric Edition. Part 2 is a fan favorite, you know. Oh. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You have to run it back.
I played it again on accident. Sorry, guys.
So, we're here. You know, this is the much requested. Nobody requested.
Can I phone a friend? What are my hotlines?
You know what? Maybe next time I'll give you hotlines. Or what are they called? Is that what they're called? They're not called hotlines.
Yeah, lifelines.
Lifelines.
My 3 lifelines.
Lifelines, not hotlines.
No, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So you know the rules of the game. I'm gonna read you off some lyrics. No type of rhythm, no type of beat, because I don't want to give you the clues.
Are they cumbias?
Some of them, yeah, I thought it'd be timely. So, but I try. So the tough part with cumbia is a lot of the songs.
All right, let's just get to it, because I'm gonna get them all wrong.
Damn, somebody's a little spicy today. But all right,
I'm always spicy. I'm typecast.
What?
Go ahead.
All right, hang on. Let me pull it up. Give me 1 second. one second. All right, here we go.
I'm still embarrassed by the first time.
Yo,
I can't believe I didn't get AIO.
I'm gonna say the same thing I said last time. These are easy.
And you know what was crazy? We had just come back from a trip from Oklahoma, where we were literally singing this song in karaoke. Sorry, guys.
I don't know, but here we go.
All right, go ahead. I'm ready.
Here's the first one. All right, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Si todo me recuerda a ti, en todas partes estás tú. Si en una rosa estás tú. Si en cada respirar estás tú.
This is Los Ángeles Azules.
It's super fucking easy. What?
This is Los Ángeles Azules.
So? Si todo me recuerda a ti.
I just don't know the name of the song, but I know a song.
You don't need to know the name of the song. En todas partes estás tú. Si en una rosa estás tú. Si en cada respirar estás tú. Dude, it's so fucking easy.
I need to name the song, right?
Actually, yeah, the name of the song is the answer. That's why I said it's so easy. It's like 4 words, bro. Wow. Man.
I know it's Los Ángeles Azules.
I'm gonna give you a timer.
Immediately.
You're right.
And I just don't know the name of the song. It's not Nunca es Suficiente. It's not El Listón de Tu Pelo.
That's a great one. Oh, the Cadenita song is great too. Carmen.
I'm so sorry. I apologize to everybody.
Que tú me regalaste, Carmen. All right, you're wrong.
Damn it.
Es como te voy a olvidar. Like,
fuck!
Bro, what the fuck? You want to sing it?
Como te voy a olvidar.
Yeah, en todas partes estás tú.
Si en una rosa estás tú. En cada respirar estás tú. Como te voy a olvidar. ¿Cómo te voy a olvidar?
How the fuck did you get that right?
I just forgot.
You suck, dude.
I don't do well under pressure.
Oh my god. All right.
That's why I have to cheat on tests.
Number 2. Yeah, you suck. All right. Again, equally easy. All right.
Go for it.
All right. Here we go. Let me find the part that I was going to tell you. Okay. Here we go. Es que fuiste mala con mi corazón y ahora vienes a buscarme, a amarme. Un ...
Is this a cumbia?
Yeah. This is similar to last time. This is a coming together of 2 worlds, if you will. Epic mashup.
It's not Drake and what did I say last time?
No, it's not fucking Drake, you idiot.
All right, give it to me one more time.
Es que fuiste mala con mi corazón y ahora vienes a buscarme, a amarme. Un ... Un. It's like the first one. Interesting. Man, you fucking suck, bro. This song is amazing.
How long do I have to breathe really hard and act like I'm thinking?
All right,
before I can say I don't know.
Really, Rudy? All right, turn that shit off. You suck. Put the.
Sorry.
Does that show have an ant sound? No.
I don't have that key.
All right. Well, whatever. Okay.
Oh yeah, here it is.
sound when they play when they lose. Anyways, all right. Es que fuiste mala con mi corazón y ahora vienes a buscarme, amarme. Un día fuiste todo para mí y ahora no puedo ni verte, vete. You don't know what song that is, do you?
Sing it again with rhythm.
Damn, hold on. I don't got the cadence in my head. Wait. Es que fuiste mala con mi corazón. Y
what song is this?
Ahora vienes a buscarme, amarme.
Is this Selena?
Día fuiste todo para mí.
The Cumbia Kings.
Ahora no
Dang, dude.
With Intocable.
I'm a fucking fraud.
And you fucking suck.
Hey, but you know what?
Wait,
That's okay.
It is Intocable, right?
I can hear the song and still appreciate it and not know.
I'm pretty sure it's
I
Intocable.
don't know. I'm just trying to make myself feel better.
You didn't know that one? Bro.
I
really thought that was super. That song.
We need to get rid of this segment because clearly I don't know shit.
That song is literally the chorus like 4 times.
All right.
That's all it does.
No, come on, help me get the rest of them wrong.
All right. Hang on. Where's... All right.
Can we do one more? Just pick your favorite one.
Shut the fuck up. All right. Here we go. This was not cumbia. But I argue that everybody should know this song. We'll see.
All right. Let's get it.
Acá entre nos. Quiero que sepas la verdad. No te he dejado de adorar. Allá en mi triste soledad. Me han dado...
All right. One more time.
Acá entre nos. Quiero que sepas la verdad. No te he dejado de adorar. Allá en mi triste soledad. Me han dado...
The fact that there's no rhythm, I don't think anyone can get any of these.
I think that one...
But yeah, Monica knows these because she knows them before you come in here.
I asked her these yesterday and she got most of them right. I was like, are these too easy?
Let me play the music for like 3 seconds and then just say that I don't know. Can I phone a friend?
No.
Hello?
No.
Kevin?
Yes.
What's the answer? Oh yeah, I would have never gotten this.
Bro, are you... Tu vida.
I would have never.
Have you...
I know the song.
That's like, bro, esa canción está en todas las pedas, bro. Like...
And I'm always pedo.
Yeah.
How do you expect me to remember?
Te va a tratar pendejo. Rudy. You suck at this, bro.
You know this. This is why you do this. All right, this is the last one.
No. I got 2 more.
The people don't want to hear me be wrong.
All right, hold on. This one, all right, we'll see. This one I was iffy about, but I decided to throw it in there because I thought you might get it.
I don't know why you think these things.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Y no mal interprete mi intención. Es que no aguanto las ganas. Por eso he venido a decírselo. Que... Bro, what? I really thought you'd get this one.
All right, give it to me one more time.
All right. Y no mal interprete mi intención. Es que no aguanto las ganas. Por eso he venido a decírselo. Que hoy... Bro, like... How do you not know this
Hey, the
one?
producers don't know either, so I'm not by myself anymore. Kevin, what's the answer?
Hoy la quiero en mi cama, bro. Like, what? How does no one know mayor que yo? Oh, it's a fucking peanut gallery. No
Kevin's such an elitist over here. Okay.
What? Are you? Oh, yo, that's crazy. All right. Well, you know what? If you're not going to get that one right, I guess
I think let's leave it there.
I'll leave it there. I have one more, but...
Hey, you know what?
Jesus
one day it's going to be so exciting when I get one right. The day that happens, hey, shout out. It's going to be a good time.
Por eso he venido a decírselo.
And that concludes our
quiero en mi cama.
segment of Really Rudy. I think that's going to be like the surprise, the day that I get one right. Like, I think that should just be your goal from now on. Like, how much more of an idiot can I make Rudy look in front of the crowd of people that he's trying to entertain and provide he's a fraud? One day I'll get one right. And I'm never going to shut up about it.
You know what? I wonder. You got to hit me with some because I wonder if I'd get any right. I'm
Hey, you know what? Yeah, really, Kevin? Yeah, we'll run this back one day.
Well, I had to get payback for you making me look like a jackass the first trivia.
You know what? Yeah, I need to bring that back. But okay, cool. No, I think before we head out, I kind of wanted to start another segment where we might actually do something more of like a full episode that's similar to this. But I think one of the things that kind of happens a lot of the times is we start to not be able to address things that are happening in the moment. And so just kind of like highlight some current events. Yeah. Kind of like what's going on in our world. Today's are going to be very like focused on, I mean, just like Mexican things. Cause like, that's kind of like the first thing that came into my head. And I also really wanted to talk about representation again, cause our last episode was based on that. And to provide context, that we recorded that episode prior to, either they came out in the same week or it was right after, In the Heights came out. Okay. So, we didn't even mention it in that episode, and so I didn't want it to seem like it's something that we missed.
We missed it.
Sorry. But yeah, no. Have you watched it? You haven't watched it yet, right?
No.
Okay, so I watched it.
I'm not a movie watcher.
You don't like musicals, huh? 'Cause it's a musical.
And I don't like musicals.
Yeah, if no one's aware, In the Heights is a musical about the community from Washington Heights in New York, which is a heavily Dominican community. They had kind of Puerto Ricans, they had some Cubans, they had
Puerto Rico.
Yeah, so Puerto Ricanos. Like there's just
Puerto Rico.
A lot of the land community that we don't really have here in Texas. So if you are from Texas and you know, it was super interesting to kind of like see. There was a lot of. I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was a very good movie.
You actually watched it?
Yeah, I watched it. I enjoy musicals.
What's your Rotten Tomato score? Don't pander. Give it an honest feedback.
I'd say it's on a scale of 100, right? The Rotten Tomatoes. It'd definitely be a red tomato. It's not a green tomato, right? Because if they get so bad, they get green tomatoes, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a rotten.
I just thought it was like...
But it definitely at least be like 80%.
Okay.
Like baseline. I will say, like, they talked about a lot of things that our community can be impacted by, you know, being undocumented, being uncomfortable in spaces where you maybe are the only one in that space. For example, one of the characters goes off to Stanford and...
Fun fact, that was my dream school.
Me too, fun fact. Dang.
I never applied, though.
Yeah, me neither.
They say you got to write an essay. I was like, huh?
Okay, but there's a story in there about like how like her roommate's like necklace goes. I don't want to ruin the movie, right? But like she has some challenges going off to Stanford, being Latina.
She gets accused of stealing guys.
Yeah. Okay. And then,
I've never seen the movie, but
you knew that.
Predictable as fuck over here. He gave it away.
There's challenges of like, you know, just resources, opportunity, all these things that like I think a lot of people can relate to.
Sure.
So I really enjoyed it. However, there has been a lot of criticism, and I always appreciate that these perspectives are provided because it's maybe not something that I'd notice immediately, and that was the lack of Afro Latinos that were, I guess, to be seen. Like they weren't really there. Like they definitely like maybe sprinkled in kind of a character or two, and I wouldn't say that the cast in its entirety was whitewashed, because most of the characters were, I would say, even darker than myself, but it was definitely not representing of what those actual communities in Washington Heights looks like, because again, there are a lot of Afro Latinos that look just very black, and I don't think there was enough representation there, and that has been a criticism that I think is very valid, right? And I think that's okay. Like it's okay for our community to say, hey, like I really enjoyed this. I think it did a really good job of addressing XYZ, but it kind of missed the mark here, and it's just unfortunate because this is a really big mark. Like I said, I think the influence that Afro Latinos have on our community, music, sound, style, top to bottom is huge. And so for them not to receive more, I guess just representation, right? The minimum is extremely unfair and wrong, and to be very cut and dry with it. So that's my biggest critique. And if someone else has more, hey, hit me up because I'm definitely always opening to.
My biggest critique is it's a musical.
You're so dense.
I'm kidding.
But yeah, no. So that was the only thing I want to mention there. And then I want to give a quick shout out. Do you want to give those shout outs real quick on some accomplishments from some of our Mexican brothers out there?
Out here succeeding We talked about this also. When people succeed, that's awesome. So
We love it.
Sergio Checo Perez. You know who he is?
I did not know until, I mean, I knew that there was a Formula One racer that was Mexican out there doing his thing.
He's a Formula One racer, and he just won his second ever in like the span of actually like 6 months. I think the first ever he won was like in November, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But he won his second ever Formula One race.
Hey, shout out. Yeah. And he like wears like the flag on his back whenever he goes to the podium.
He's Mexican as fuck.
So we love it.
And then you get the
Do you remember his name? Brandon Moreno.
Si se puede, cabrón.
Hey, bro, I loved it. And he wore the underdog like kind of.
So I don't know shit about
demeaning.
UFC, so I actually didn't know this was going on at all. But
yeah, I'm not huge into UFC. Yeah, I'm more of a boxing guy myself. But yeah, the first Mexican-born champion in UFC. Big shout out. He was an underdog, and I really appreciate also his. The guy he was fighting, I forget his name. It's like Figueroa or something like that.
Oh, Figueiredo or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Figueiredo, something like that. Like picking up and celebrating with him, like he was an extreme, great.
I didn't even see that.
Great sportsmanship on his behalf, but yeah, you saw like the man was crying when he won, and he wore it with a lot of pride, and it was very
Latino
much
succeeding in the
out there.
world stage. Love to see it, and I'm sorry that it's only Mexican that we're
highlighting. Yeah, I mean that's just what we see, right? Because it's in our immediate ear. I'm sure there's a lot more going on, and I think that's going to be hopefully a goal later, right? To do an episode where we're like addressing a lot of current events throughout just entire Latin America.
We'll expand our
and just to kind of
umbrellas.
Talk about what's going on right now. Copa America. Hope everyone's enjoying the games out there. I feel like there hasn't been enough coverage of the Copa America games.
Because the Euros are going on.
Because the Euros are going on at the same time. Yeah, it's a little why they give them the white soccer games more clout than the brown ones, huh?
I think they're still
ESPN. Where you at with the Copa America games? No, I'm just playing.
Jesus Christ. I think they're still got no fans in the stadium, I think.
So, and that's probably something that we do have to talk about is that they're still like in like Brazil, Argentina, in a lot of Southern America, COVID is still very, very impactful. So thoughts and prayers to everyone in those countries, people with family in those countries. I hope you are not affected, and if you are, I hope it at least. I'm really bad with what I was trying to say.
Right, but guys, hey, I think it's time to wrap it on up here.
Sorry, guys.
That's it.
And then one of our producers is laughing in the background. I don't know what she's laughing about over here. This is not funny, Monica. But yeah.
Started the sentence. They had no idea where to finish it.
Yeah. So let me just keep talking. But yeah,
Michael
Scott. Sorry. But with that being said, anything else you want to add?
No, just follow us on all our social media. Scatterroots Pod. Check out the YouTube.
Yeah, check it out. Hey, our man, if you've only been listening to
you're missing
the episodes on Spotify and podcast, check out the YouTube. Our boy Johnny has been throwing in some little eggs in there that is that what they're called?
Easter eggs.
Easter eggs.
He threw in some eggs. There's fucking huevos now.
Fuck, he's gonna do something with that. I know he is. He's gonna throw an egg at my head. And then I'm gonna be egghead. Fuck.
Oh shit.
But yeah, he throws in little Easter eggs in there, and he makes fun of us. So go check it out. It's a good time. My nephews really like to watch the YouTube. They always clown me. So yeah. Hey, again, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Hope you have a good rest of your week, and take care. Bye.
Adios.
My camera?
Yep.
Cool.
That's not necessary anymore, man.
Yeah, you know. I like the effects.
That hurts my eardrum.